Okay, good evening. Today's daf is Tzadik Vav. We're still on Tzadik Hamid base. So yesterday we saw through Machloikis. If a person goes ahead, steals something, and he goes ahead and he invests in it and he elevates the price. He makes it worth more. So late Reb Meya, we said that Shinu is kaina, and really he should pay b'shach like the Zayla, whatever it was worth, and keep the shvach. But als kanas to not go ahead and facilitate people thinking they can steal and get away with it and gain, right? Then he made him return it. That was the shita of Reb Meya. Rabbi Yehuda said that he's kind of the shvach, and he just pays and he returns the animal and pays the difference between an animal that was ready to give birth and an animal that wasn't. Rav Shimon said that you shuma, you make the lashon was that ki'ilu hu shuma etzlei bekesef, and we said that it's not a set amount. It depends on whatever the going price was, a general scale what people would pay for someone to take care of the animals. If it was a half, it was a third, it was a quarter. And we saw that we asked about the nafkamina between the two. We saw two pshatim, we saw Rizvid. Pshat is whether it's the shvach is still on the animal, you to return it or not. Or the Reb Papa said no, everyone holds that even if it's on the animal, the Gazlan would take it, and the nafkamina would be what it is that you pay this half, this third, and this quarter. So Amar Avashi, we're on Tzadik Hamid Beis, we're 2, 4, 6, about a lot of lines from the bottom. So if that helps, Amar Avashi, next to the Taisus guy's money. Look at next to the Taisus money. Fourth Taisus up. Okay. Amar Avashi, Kavina Bei Rav Kahana. When I was learning in the yeshiva of Rav Kahana, he boiled on the following. Rav Shimon, according to Rav Shimon, the Amar Lemechzel Shlish Ulravia, that the Goslin takes in the Shvach, he takes depending on what the going rate is in that place. Now, who the Shakal Goslin? Ki Misal Kinan Lay, right? When we go ahead and we pay off the Goslin, again, obviously, like Rabbi Yehuda, that the Goslin keeps everything. There's no paying it off. But when we pay off the Goslin, the question is do we give him money? Ki Misaklina Lay Bidemei Misal Kinan? Do we go ahead and misalik the Goslin with the money? And let's say it's a place is a half. So the half of the shvach is $500. Here's the shvach. Do you give him $500 cash? Or maybe from the animal itself that gives birth to a child, he gets the $500 from the calf itself. So in other words, he went ahead and in the calf itself, he elevated the price of the calf by feeding it well and everything. Now the calf is worth more. And now when you're going to go ahead and take it back, after all, it was stolen. Do you go ahead, and you have to give him X amount of money? Is it money, or he can take the value from the calf that he fattened up? So it says the Gemara, or maybe what he goes in and takes from that. Now, this is only a shiloh like Reb Shimon, right? Look at Tosfos. The third place is up. The Reb Shimon, according to Reb Shimon, he salak like boy Reb Yehuda. But there's no question to Rabbi Yehuda because the Goslin keeps everything. The kivin them at the kanas hashavim mukmila kula shvach b'yad Goslin pshita the mekuf shakal. Of course, he takes the shvach from the kuf. There's nothing to talk about. In other words, why is the Gemara asking the shiloh only according to Rabbi Shimon? Because like Rabbi Yehuda, he gets the whole thing. So of course in other words, the nixal is taking back the animal. The shvach of the animal is $1,000, right? Of course, he's going to get the $1,000 from the animal. He's not going to get. Can't give him cash. So there's no shaila. The only shaila is like Rabbi Shimon, who you're going to divide the shvach between the nigzal and the goslin, right? Then do you pay? Can the nigzal pay him off in cash or what? Or no? Or does he have to go ahead and can even get from the animal? That's the shaila. And so Ravi asked the shaila upashtana me hadam Rav Nachman. Shmuel, and he was placed from that Rav Nachman said the name of Shmuel. Shloisha Shama Lehem, right? Ashvach. There are 3 individuals where we go ahead and evaluate the shvach. It got worth more. Umaylan say bidamim, and you have to give cash. In other words, he doesn't. And you pay him off with cash. He might want the animal. He might want the karka in certain cases, right? He might want the karka in certain cases, but you can go ahead and be misalik him with cash. That's it. The eluhain, v'char lepashut. You have Now, a Bechor only takes bimuchsik, what the time of the death of the father, not beroi. So let's say that but they didn't divide up the estate yet, and there's shvach in the estate, and now the Bechor is going to take this pishnayim, but not in the shvach, and now he has to pay off his schreiv, right? He took, let's see, he took two pishnayim in the karka and the shvach in there. That he pays off, he has to pay. He can't go ahead and take, give him a little extra karka. He has to pay cash. That's Ubalchayv loikeach. Loikeach comes ahead, guys, and he rips away from the Balchayv comes along, and there was a property with a lien on it, and loikeach bought that property. The Balchayv now is coming to take it away, and the loikeach had gone ahead and improved the property. So when he goes ahead and he pays him, he can't say, in other words, you owe me, you're taking back the land, but I get the shvach, right? I get the I'm looking for the words. What's the word shvach? What's the improvement? Thank you. And in the improvement, he can't say, listen, let me take the improvement in the karka, but you can give him cash. I mean, not you could, you give him cash. And the third one is balchal yisomim. You go ahead, you have a lien on a property, the guy died, it's in the Yisraelim now, they improved the property, so now you have to pay the Yisraelim, you take back the karka, and you have to pay the Yisraelim for the improvements. In that case, what? Cash, okay, 3 cash. So the Rashba says, if by Lokeach and Yisraelim, where they went ahead and they improved it, you can't go ahead and get from the karka itself, you have to cash. So Kol Shekain, the Gazlan, if he improves it, we're not going to look for the bet, Bishleim the Yasim Lokeach, they did nothing wrong when it came into their hands, right? They did nothing wrong. It came to their hands, and nonetheless, what? They can't claim a piece of the karka. You have to pay them cash. They have to accept. I keep on saying they have to accept cash. This is the way the Rashba learns, because the Gemara is not pushed it. So clearly, certainly says the Rashba, in the case of the Gazlan, where it came to him illegally, he can't get the upper hand and receive karka. He has to accept cash. Okay, guys, that's the limit. Guys, you hear? The Yasam and the Lekeach did nothing wrong, right? They did nothing wrong. The guy is now coming legally, taking back a property that had a lien on it. They improved it. They're entitled to the value of the improvements. Yet they can't take those improvements in the karka himself. They have to accept cash. Certainly the Gazlan, which came to his hand, the karka came to his hand illegally, right? You would not be able to go ahead and you improved it. You're going to get the improvements later of Shimon. You only get X amount of improvements. You won't be able to taina, give me the improvements in the karka or whatever it might be in the animal, and he has to accept cash. Okay? That's the replace of the shaila. Now the Gemara digresses a little bit to discuss the shita. So it's Mashma Loit Shmuel, who said this, right? This is Rav Nachman said in the name of Shmuel, that the Gazlan would be able to go ahead and the Balchai would be able to go ahead and collect what? Karka, shvach. Guys, again, case number 2 was, the first case was the Bechar. Case number 2 was the Loikeach getting the shvach. He bought a land, not realizing taking a chance this land is mortgaged, and you're shaykh to the being getting ripped away from you. There's a lien on the land, and when he collects the shvach, he has to take cash. So it's mashma that the Baal Chayiv, the Lokeach, gets the shvach. We're going to question that now. Shmuel said that. He gets cash. Fred the Gemara Kasha. Shmuel Baal Chayiv Lokeach Yav Shvach. Does the Baal Chayiv have to pay the Lokeach the improvements? V'amar Shmuel Baal Chayiv Goyves HaShvach. That the Baal Chayiv collects the shvach, and he doesn't have to give Lokeach anything. So listen to this. Bad enough that you bought a land that you have to go ahead and someone's going to take it away from you. Not only that the improvements that you made in the land also will be taken away from you. You hear, guys? The improvements made in land also will be taken away from you. Kasha Shmuel on Shmuel. Shmuel just said, when you go ahead and pay off the Lokeach Shvach, you pay him off with cash. I over here, it's mashma, you don't have to pay him anything because he doesn't get the improvements, right? He doesn't get the improvements. So Amalei, like Kasha, not a problem. Kan b'shvach hamagia l'kasefayim. The kan b'shvach she'emagia l'kasefayim. You have on the land, you have growing. L'kasefayim means that it's almost ready to be harvested to carry on your shoulders, right? It's almost ready to be harvested, but to carry on your shoulders. So if you have shvach that is if you have shvach that is it's so much to the point, right? That's it's right to be disattached and carried away, right? It's considered what already Paris, and therefore the Baal Choiv is chayiv to give lekeach the price of the tefua. Fellas, guys, look at me. Guys, look at me. What's the case? I use the English. There's the English terms. You met ahead when you bought a field. That field has a lien on Yankel. Yankel comes along and says, "Here, I'm taking your field, Lays. I'm taking it away." So 1 second, I put so much work into this. You can just take the whole thing. Because listen, not a problem. I'm taking the field. You'll go ahead and deal. You know, you took a chance, achrayus. You'll deal with the guy who sold it to you. But this is meshubah to me. And now you want to. But second, I just put a lot of money into the field. What are you taking away from me for? Because 1 second, is the stuff growing in the field part of the field or not? Meaning, if it's so far to the state of ripeness that already it's considered almost ready to harvest, it's karka. It's not. It's metaltalin. It's not karka. And therefore, since it's metaltalin, of course you have to pay me. It's not part of the field. If I would have harvested it, right? Could you come to there and say, 1 second, I get the field and the produce that you have in your barn that you harvested? Of course not. Says the Gemara, in order to answer, says Ravina to says Rav Ashi to Ravina, you know, when we're speaking that the shvach goes to the laser stern, is where it's at the point of time where it's ready to be harvested. And therefore doesn't need the karka anymore. It's not part of the karka anymore. Therefore, it's mine. And therefore, you're going to take it because it's still attached to the karka. You got to pay me. But I have to accept cash. When did Shmuel say that you do not have to give me anything is where it's the state that it still needs the karka. So the crops are considered part of the karka. And the karka is mine. It's Yankel's. I mean, it's Yankel's, not mine. It's Yankel's. That's the teretz between the answer to the two. When did Shmuel say that you don't collect it, that you just collect the field and shvach is tough luck on laser stern? That's when it still needs the crop, still needs the field, and the field is meshubah to Yankel. On the other hand, if it's at a point in time where it's almost ready to be harvested, we'll view it as metaltalin, as not part of the field, and therefore Yankel doesn't have any right to it, and therefore he has to go ahead and pacify me. He has to pacify me according to whatever the price is, and he's going to pacify me with cash. Good, guys, you good? Them's the apples. Okay, so says the Gemara. So one more time. Amalei. So Ravina, Rav Ashi says, Ravina like kasha kam b'shvach hamagiel ksafayim. Since it's ready to be carried away by harvesters, it's considered not part of the field anymore, and you have to pay off the lekeach. The kan, and where does the Baal Chayv take it away? Is b'shvach shein magiel ksafayim. Amalei. So said Ravina to Rav Ashi, v'maisim b'chol yoim because magmi Shmuel afilu shvach hamagiel ksafayim. It's a ma'aser that each and every day that Shmuel collects, even if it's what, even if it's even I feel shvach hamagil ksafayim that he's collecting every day, even shvach that is, and Shmuel is collecting what? But ma'aser b'chol yoim, there's a ma'aser what every single day. Baal Chayv kam, they rip away the karka, and Shmuel is what is collecting from the lekeach, right? And he's not giving you anything. In other words, guys, the field, in my scenario, Yankel's taking away the field that it's ready to be laser stern to harvest it. It's ready to be harvested. And Shmuel is still collecting it from me and giving it to Yankel. So your teretz isn't a good teretz. Your whole teretz is predicated upon, since it's ready to be harvested, then therefore it's not considered part of the karka. But Shmuel, it was ready to be harvested, and Shmuel is still collecting it and giving it to Yankel. That's the Gemara's kasha. Says the Gemara, so you give a new teretz. So Amalei, so said Rav Ashi like kasha, hademasik bei kishir arva ushvacha, right? Where the land, the choiv is not only the land, but also the price of the shvach. That's when Shmuel takes away the whole thing. In other words, the Baal Choiv has a choiv that's worth $10,000. The land is worth $9,000 and the crop is worth $1,000. In that case, Shmuel takes the whole thing away. The Masik Bey, the Sada Masik it's up the share of Ara Ushvacha. Where the Shmuel allow the Lekeach to keep part of it is the Masik Bey Elakashir Ara, that the Shir Ara covers his loan. So in other words, according to what Torah Chaim is learning right now, the Baal Chayv takes the land and gives Lekeach money for Shvach. When is that? When the Shvach is more than the Chayv. In other words, there's no distinction now between whether it's ready to be harvested, not ready to be harvested. We're giving a whole new teretz. Shmuel Taka would allow, when the Shmuel go ahead and say you take away the whole field, including the improvements, is when you need the field plus the improvements to cover the loan. If, however, the field itself covers the loan, then you're going to go ahead and allow the lekeach to keep his shvach. Then you can allow the lekeach to keep his shvach. Amalei hanit now. Okay. What's the Baal Chayv? I went ahead. I say, listen, Yankel, I need money. So good. Yankel says, no problem. I'll lend you money. What's to secure my loan? I said, well, I have a field. I have a field. Field is secured. Okay. Comes along, Yankel says, Lays, where's my money? I said, I don't have it. So he goes, so where's your field that I can collect from? I say, it's in Chves. It's in the Sayerville. I have no idea. Never came into my mind. I have no idea. Don't ask. Anyway, he goes to Sayerville and he has this guy, shows up, and he said, did you buy this field from Stern? He goes, yeah, I really did. I bought the field from Stern. So he goes, let me have the field. So he says to him, listen, how much does Stern owe you? He goes, he owes you $50,000. So he goes, 1 second, I'll give you $50,000 and keep the field. After all, the creation of the lien on the field, right, is caused by me owing money. So there's two ways to look at this. I can look at it the following, that just like if I had the cash, I could give it to Yankel, so too the guy in Sayerville can give it to Yankel cash, and he can keep the field. Or there's another way to look at it. When I default on the loan, Yankel owns the field. And then if that's the case, then the guy in Sayerville cannot go ahead and pay Yankel off because we view the field as already Yankel's. That's two ways to look at it. Can the buyer go ahead and misalik bezuze? Can he go ahead and take Yankel away, the Baal Chayv Yankel? Or no? Or no, the field is Yankel's. That's so now. Says the Gemara to follow. You just gave me this teretz, right? You gave me the teretz with the field and the shvach together covered alone. If the lekeach, the guy who bought it in Sayerville, has money, he's not able to get rid of Yankel with money. Shapir, we can understand why he goes ahead and keeps the karka. He keeps the karka; it's his field, and the shvach you go ahead and pay with cash. If the guy in Sayerville has cash, he could tell what? Yankel, guess what? The field. Let the guy in Sayerville say to Yankel, if I would have cash, I'd throw you, you wouldn't get anything. At least, it's give me a piece of the action in what? In the shvach that, again, the shvach that you're going to pay me, at least pay me what? In karka. In other words, if I had cash, I'd be able to get, the field's not yours. It's not, the karka doesn't belong to you. Because you can't, because if I had cash, I can get rid of you. I pay you, I could pay you off the loan. But now I don't have cash. So therefore I have to give you the field. But chach, since I can go ahead and give you cash, let me take the shvach that I improved the field. Let me take it the payment in karka and not cash. Good time. So Amalei, so Rav Ashi told Ravina, what we're speaking about over here, where Shmuel said that you have to pay off you can't, your shvach has to be in damim, is b'maya skinon during the shavya nele apaitiki. Even if you hold the man, the Amma says the guy in Sevel can get rid of Yankel with cash. What happens if when the deal went down, I told Yankel, listen, Yankel, you see this field? This field, even though I have 100 fields, this field, poite kai, your shibit's on this field. So even like the man the Amma that the guy in Sevel can get rid of Yankel with money, if I made the field in a poiteki, if I made this is where you're going to go ahead and do it, he can't. And therefore you meshubit that field, and therefore he can't go ahead and get rid of him with sus. He made it a poiteki. The Amma lay that I told him if I don't pay up the loan, I told Yankov, if I don't pay up, the Peroyim will only be from this field, So that's the digression. Not such an easy digression, but a digression nonetheless. Okay. Says the Gemara Vaita. Abarava. Gazel v'shviach, you steal a field and you improve it, umacher, and you sell it. Or the gazel v'shviach, and one dies, v'hayrish, and now they inherit it. Masha shbiach, right? V'hayrish masha shbiach. So and v'hayrish, and then he goes to Edward and he goes to Edward and he inherits it, right? So in that case, what's the father? It's the shvach. He went ahead. He stole the field, and he improved the field. He improved the field, and he sells the field, or he steals the field. He gets it better, and then he dies. And has kids. So mashesh biach machar, mashesh biach chayrish, and whatever he sold or wherever he was myrish, the deal is done. And we don't say that what? We don't say that who. Guys, what's the chiddush over here? Why does he get the shvach? Because of Takanas Hashavim, right? Because of Takanas Hashavim, made Takanas Hashavim, right? Right. So we don't say that he can't go ahead and sell that. It's maybe the only reason he keeps the shvach is because we want him to do tshuva. Guys, that's right. Look at me. We want him to do tshuva, right? So he said, you know what? You stole this. It got better. You keep the shvach, do tshuva. But why? Why would we expect his kids who don't have to do tshuva, or the buyer who doesn't have to do tshuva, right? Why would we say the deal is done? Why don't you just go back to the nigzal? It was stolen in the first place. So the chiddush is, despite the fact that it stays the shvach in the shus of the gazlan because he stole it and we wanted to return it, he has such rights in it that he could sell it or be mirish it. That's the chiddush over here. That's the chiddush over here. Boy Rava, hishpia lekeach. You go ahead, you buy it from a gazlan, and you improve the field. Mahu, right? What's the din? Is if the lekeach is zeich in the shvach or not? So the gazlan just sold the field. The gazlan sold the field, and the lekeach improved the field, right? The lekeach improved the field, not the gazlan. Do we say basid the boy hada pashta ma macha rishon l'sheni kol shchus shetav liyadai? And just like if the gazlan would improve the field, the sale would have gone through. Okay, so too the guy who bought it, I guess it would stay by him as well. So too the lekeach would be zeich in the shvach. Boy Rava, hishbiach evikachab. You sell it to a guy, and the guy makes it better, right? And the havamin is that the guy stole the field from a Jew. He made it better. If the guy is zeich in the shvach. Boy Rava, hishbiach evikachab mahu. The guy steals the field. The guy makes it better. And does he get to keep it or not? Good. So Amalei Ravachami Diflu Ravina Takanta Loiv Chavim Nekim Venavad. Do we make a takana for a guy? We make a takana of Hashavim for a guy that he should keep the shvach. So Amalei like Tzricha, that's not the case. What's the case? Going to Zavne, right? The Yisrael. The guy went ahead and sold it to Yisrael. Do we mitakin Zchia in the shvach that if you bought it from a guy, just like if you bought it from a Jew. If you bought it from a Jew, guys, we said kol shchus that he had goes to you. Mashenkin, if you buy it from a guy, what's the din? Says the Gemara, soif haba machmas oivikachav mari koivikachav. That's the schus. It comes. You know better than the guy. Like tzricha, going to Gozel Yisrael. No, the guy didn't steal it originally. A Jew stole it originally. The Zavna Nale, and he sold it to the guy. And the guy made it better. And he sold it to the Yisrael, and now comes along the Nigzal, and he wants to collect it from the Yisrael. So a Yisrael stole it, a guy went ahead and made it better, and then another Jew bought it, and now the Nigzal shows up. Why do we say Mi Amin and Kivin the Meikar Yisrael, V'Hadi Yisrael, Avdi Rabban Takanta, and the Lekeach will get a piece of the Shvach. Like Dilma Kivin the Ikar Vikachavim Be'emtza, right? Like Avdi Rabban Takanta, and the final Lekeach would not get a Shvach. And the Gemara says Teku remains a Shaila till Eliyahu Navi shows up and tells us the answer. Amar Papa. Hi man. Okay, now we saw Shinui, the concept of Shinui Koina, right? Now there's different levels of Shinuyim. There's the biggest one is Shinui Maisa, where the whole thing changes, right? We also saw Shinui Hashem, where a name changes, and we said that's a very shvacher kinyan. Shinui Hashem is shvach, and the question is Shinui Koina, Shinui Hashem Koina? To what extent? So says the Gemara. Amra Papa. Hi man, the Gozel Dikla, Mechavre. He went in and stole the dekel from his friend. Right? Vikatle means he cut it down. Let's say you had a tree on the border in my rishus, and Yankel came along, and Yankel's field borders mine. Yankel cuts the tree to the extent that it falls into Yankel's rishus. So Yankel stole my tree. Yankel stole my tree. Even though it goes from my rishus to Yankel, Leikana, then Yankel is not Kaina. My timer, what opinion does he have? Meikara Dikla Mikri, it was called a palm tree before it fell down. Bahashtanami Dikla Mikri, and it's called a palm tree after it fell down. In other words, there was no Shinoi to go ahead and make it Yankels. There was no Shinoi to make it Yankels. Gazel Dikla of Ovid Gubi, he went ahead and he stole a dekel, and he made logs. So he cut it into logs. He chopped it up. Like kana, he's not kaina. Why? Because hashtamia gube the dikla mikri. We call it palm tree logs. In other words, it still has the shame of a palm tree on it, and therefore you don't have a shinoi to go ahead. What? The name doesn't change as a result of this maisa. However, goive v'avdinu kashure, he takes logs and he makes them into beams. Then kana, then you kaina, because that is a whole different shinoi, and so you have a shinoi maisa, and the name itself changes. Kishuri Ravavi, he steals big beams. V'avdinu kashuri zutri makes small beams, as you can imagine, like kana. It would make sense. You don't acquire it because you didn't change the name. However, avdinu kitzutz yatsa, if you make them into what? Boards, then kana, then you be kaina. Because again, that's a complete different animal. Amarava, Haiman de Gozi Luliva, you steal a luliv, Vavdinu Hutzi, and you make it what? Into you disattach the leaves from the shidra. You disattach it, and you make, that's called Hutzi, as opposed to Huti, right? Sorry, Lenny. Anyway, so and you go ahead and you make it Hutzi. Kani, your kaina. The Meikara Luliva, Mikri, initially was called a luliv, Vahashta Hutzi, and now it's called a Hutzi. Hutzi v'avdinu chufya. If you take these leaves and you make it into a broom, so in that case, what? Kani, because meikaro hutzi v'hashta chufya. Now it's a broom. Chufya, a lulav that you made into a broom. V'avde shashura, and you make it into a rope, like kana. Why? My timer, because this is a shina that's chaz lebriyaslei. The hada sasale v'havi chufya. Because if you go ahead and take apart the rope, it becomes what? It goes back to being a broom. Boy, wrap up. Do you have that in the? I don't think you have that in the book there. The bottom twice is samechei on the base. That's the source for this. Okay, the combination of shini ma'aser with shini Hashem. It's that twice. It's very good. Says the Gemara. Boy Rav Papa. Nechlika hatiyumis. Now the tiyumis, for all those you know, that's the problem with the lulav. It's that middle guy on top, right? There's a big Tosfos here. What exactly is the tiyumis is? Tosfos says there's a double theme that goes and it projects beyond. Tosfos says you won't find it in 500 lulavs. Guys, look at just for a second. Look at that Tosfos. Just interesting for just obscure fact. Nechlika hatiyumis. Matzah ri b'tshuvas hagainim. Nitla hatiyumis oisei hutza ha'elyain b'roish halulav she'ein hutza l'mayli mena. It's the top of the lulav that there's nothing higher than it. Vuk is shnei hutzin. It's like two hutzin. The vuk and zeh b'zeh that are attached to each other. The nikra tiyumis. It's called the tiyumis. The kach mashma mitoich hilchos gedoilish shereitzim lefarish kain. Uledevrayim, according to their words, you'll never find a lulav kasha. Ki b'tayreach nimtza isa sheyesh lem tiyumis kizeh afil echa behemeyos. Just to find the lulav, but you're describing where you have 1 in 500, and then it would have to be kasha. So basically, he says it's the top part where it reaches the spine of the lulav, where it reaches the top over there. That's the middle thing where it spreads off. If it has to be together or not. So it's
Does it say dairy in it?
It doesn't say dairy in there. No, it doesn't say dairy, and it doesn't say that it's a lot of money. And it's a boira papa. Nechla tiyumis, you steal a lulav, and now the tiyumis splits. Mahu, is it considered a shinui that you're planning the lulav? Tashma, Adam Rab Masan, Amr Bishur ben Levi. Nitla hatiyumis, if the tiyumis is taken away, then puzzle, it's a puzzle lulav. If the tiyumis is taken away, it's a puzzle lulav. Now, Ashayla was not, if it's nitla, Ashayla was nechlaka. My love, who adin lenechlaka. So just like it's, guys, it's, you know why it's puzzle? Because it's not considered a lulav. So adin, if nechlaka, it's not considered a lulav anymore, and it'll be a kinyan. Guys, just like le'inyan the yotzi yechiv, it's not, the seishus kan lulav. It's not a lulav anymore. Le'inyan gazlin will be a kinyan because it's not the same thing I stole if it's taken away. And who adin if it's nechlaka. So the Gemara says no raya. My love, who adin lenechlaka loy nitla shiny. If it's taken away, it's different. You know why the chasa la? It's mechusa something, and therefore that's why it's puzzle. Mashenkin was just nechlaka. Ken zayin, it would still be kosher, and it would still be kosher. So by gazlin, it would not be considered a shinoi, and you not be kaina. Ikadi army others say Tashma Adam Rav Masan Amr Bishur ben Levi nechlaka tiyumis. The tiyumis is divided. Nasa kamisha natla. We'll view it as if it's taken away. Upasol, and therefore it's puzzle. So now you have a good raya because here it says nechlaka. So if nechlaka is a compasal lulav, nechlaka can be considered a shinoi to go ahead and say the lulav is what shmamina. You would be kaina. Amrav Papa. Haiman de Gozel Afra Mechavre. He steals clay, some offer, well, something that you can make a brick out of. Viabde Levinta, and he makes a brick. Leikani is not kaina. My timer, the Hadamashvale Afara, right? You can go ahead and make it back into dirt, into schmutz, clay, whatever it is. In other words, it's a shinoi echaz lebriasle. Any shinoi echaz lebriasle is pashtus, guys, is not a shinoi. So since you could take the dirt and make it back into a brick, then it would not be what I consider a shinoi. How about this? Levinsa, you go ahead and steal a brick, the avde afra, and then you go ahead and break it into afra. Kani, then you be kaina. My amen. What are you going to say? Dilma hodav avalei levinsa. So you go back to making a brick. Hi levinsa achritahu. That's a totally different brick. Upana b'dashis barlakan. In other words, the dimensions are going to be separate, guys. It's not going to be the exact. The brick, you'll never be able to make the exact same brick that you stole. So therefore, it's considered a shinoi if you steal a brick and you break it up into dirt. Famra Papa, along the same lines, Haiman the Gazal Nascha. If you steal an ingot of silver, a shtick silver, mechavre, the Ovid Zuse, and he makes what? Coins into it, like kana. You're not kana. My timer, Hada Ovid Lu Nascha. What happens if you melt down the coins? If you melt down the coins, it turns back into metal, it turns back into silver. Zuse Vavdina Nascha. If you steal Zuzim and then you make him into a Nascha, kani. Mayama, what are you going to say? Hada Ovid Zuse. You're going to make new Zuz and Panu Chadashas Balakan. In other words, it's a brand new one Zuz. It's not the same Zuz that was before. Shchimi, Bavdinu Chadati. If you stole black ones and you make them into shiny ones, like Kana, you're not Kana. You're not Kana. Why? It's going to turn black again. However, Chadati, if you go ahead and steal brand new ones, freshly minted, Bavdinu Shchimi, and then you go ahead and make them black, Kana, you're Kana. Mayam, what are you going to say? Hoda avalu chadati. You'll polish them up, and they'll become what? They'll become new again. Meidi yoda shichama. Everyone will know what? It's darkness. If anyone who ever was interested in coin collecting, you know there's something called that. Anytime it leaves the mint, if it leaves in a plastic, it's never been touched by a human being. That is when it's worth the most. Once it leaves that and it goes out in circulation, even though it looks brand new, it's not brand new. It's like a car. Once a car leaves the parking lot, the new car, it goes down in price. Not the same. You can't take it back in and say it's the same car. The same thing over here. This is the rule the Mishnah said. Again, our Mishnah goes according to the din that shinu is koina, and therefore, if you steal something and it goes down in price and it gets weak or something, you pay b'shas agzela. You can't, guys. Again, the rule of thumb: if you could say hari shalchol lefanecha, here it's in front of you, then it's what? That's when shinu is not koina. If you have to pay b'shas agzela, means whatever transpired out of the nigzal's rishus is yours, and now you have to pay b'shas agzela. That shinu is koina. Says the Gemara, when it says zeh klal, what does it come to include? Adam Rabbi law gonav tle. If you go ahead and steal a little shepsela, then what is shepsela? The nasa ayil, and it becomes a ram. Egel, a kelba, that's kef. The nasa shar, and it becomes a shar. So now what happened? The natural happened, right? It just grew up. Nasa shina biyadai. The shina is in your hand, and now the ganif guys acquires it. And if this sounds familiar, we had it in Maruba. Tavach umachar. If he consequently after the genever and he sells it or shechts it, where usually you would pay dalid vehei. In this case, he's only going to pay kefil for the geneva because it's his. Why? Shalohu tovayach. He's shechting his own. Shalohu mocha. He is selling his own. So that's the din of Rabbi Loi, that if a person steals and it grows up, and now naturally you're kind of b'shinoi, and it's yours that you're shechting, yours that you're selling, and you only be chayiv kefil on the geneva. Who gavra the gosel panda de ture mechavre. He went ahead and he stole a panda de ture. So let's get a little obscure idea. Look at padna, very fascinating. Padna is targum shel tsemed bakar, the targum of a yoke of oxen. Who padan aram. When it says padan aram, right? That's Avram came from padan aram. Rabbi Abi is going to love this. Al shem sheshnei aramim payu. Aram narayim v'aram tzayva. So therefore, the lashon aram is lashon of padna is aram. Aram means double, so it means a yoke. So aram narayim, aram tzayva. So the gosel padna tur michav. He stole the yoke of oxen from his friend. Also korabu karba. He went and he plowed a field with it. And Zara, he replowed the field and covered up the seeds. L'soif adrinal lamare, and he returned it. So now what did he do? He borrowed it. He sowed a field, and he improved the field, and now he returned it. So also committed of Nachman Amalahu Zil Shuma Shvacha Deshbach. Go ahead and evaluate whatever wad it was. He was mishabech the field, that he improved the field, and pay it. Amalei Rava Turi Eshbach Arale Eshbach. 1 second. Why you think only the ox went ahead and had to do with the improvement? What about the field that he owned? In other words, it takes two to tango, right? You have the ox working the field, but you have the shmutz growing the crop. So Amar, so said Rav Nachman, Mi ka'imna neshaimu. Did I say kula? Did I say to go ahead and pay all of it? Palgo kamina, only half of it. So pay for the amount that the shvach, that the oxen that you stole improved the field, and the other half is a result of his ground. Amalei, so said Rabbi to Rav Nachman, Seif Sof Gezeluhu, the Kahoja Be'ina. It was a gazela and he returned it. Did non kola gazlon mishalim kshas gazela. So why should he have to pay anything? No, he stole this, he returned it. Why should he have to pay any shvach? So Amalei, so retorted Rav Nachman to Rava, but lo yamina lecha, did I tell you, ki asivna bedina, when I'm adjudicating a case, lo yitemeli midi, don't say anything to me. Right? The Amar Huna Chavran Alai, Huna, your friend said about me, Anav Shavamalka, I, and Shavamalka is the nickname for Shmuel, Ache Bedina, we're brothers in Din. Right? You know that the halacha is Shmuel Bedina, when Rabbi Shmuel, halacha is Shmuel Bedina. Rav Nachman was an expert in Din, and he's telling Rava, but you're questioning me? Hi, Inish, this guy who stole the ox, guess what? Gazlona Tika Hahui. He was an Altaganif. This guy's what he did for a living. He was a Gazlan. And the reason when I went ahead and told him that he has to pay up, it was kanas. It wasn't me din. Als din, he didn't have to pay. Why? Because he shasa gazel, he returned it. but as kanas to not stop his evil ways of stealing, right? That's why I cancelled him. Geshmaka Gemara. Okay, guys, this Mishnah goes along the same lines we've been discussing until now. The concept of shinu kaina and different shinuyim. Says the Mishnah, Gozel behema veskena. He steals a behema and it got old. That's the same thing as stealing an animal and it gets weak. Avodim, he went and stole an eved, vihiskinu, and also got old. So meaning he got weaker. Be aware, remember, the machloikas, what's unique about eved? Some say an eved is kikarka. Some said an eved is kimetaltalin. If an eved is kikarka, it means that ain't an exelis. It doesn't mean you physically can't steal it. It means the halachas of gezela do not apply to it. Right? That's what it means. Right? Same. Right? You can't steal karka, the same thing, but again, the halachas don't apply to it. Okay. So now you stole the behemoth, it got old. You stole an eved, it got old. Mishalim kshasa gezela. You're going to pay what what it was worth at the time of the gezela. Why? Because shinu is not kaina. Shinu is kaina. Rabbi Aimer, ba'avodim aimelah hari shalach fanecha. By eved, it got older. It's not kaina because it's eved, and eved's kekarka. So therefore, halacha doesn't apply. The shinu doesn't apply. Memela, return the eved. Here it is. Gazal matbeya v'nistak. You steal a coin, v'nistak, and the coin gets ruined. Peiros v'erkivu, peiros, that rat. Yayin v'hichmitz. Yayin, and became vinegar. Mishalim kshasa gzela. You're going to pay kshasa gzela. Why? Because it's recognizable, the shino here. It's recognizable, the shino over here. And therefore, you're going to pay kshasa gzela. However, matbeya v'nifsol. If you go ahead, you steal a matbeya, and it's no longer accepted in that malchus, but it would be accepted someplace else. Right? It would be accepted someplace else. Good? Truma v'nit mas. Truma became tamei, so it's not recognizable. In both cases, it's not recognizable the damage. Chametz of a Pesach, not recognizable the damage. There's no inherent change in the object that you stole. Behema v'nis avdaba avera. A behema and avera was done with the animal, right? And you can't see a change. Oish nifsel me'algabim mizbeach, right? It became puzzle from the mizbeach. It got a mum that you can't notice. Or it killed, and now it's going out to be killed. Since there's no inherent change in the object itself, you will be able to go ahead and tell the shinoi. The shinoi is not nikah. You'll be able to tell the owner, the nigzal harish shalach lefanecha. Here it is in front of you. Amra Papa, when it says it got older, lo yeskina eskina mamish doesn't mean it got older. I feel a kichsha, even if it got weaker. So in other words, you weakened it. The same. His kina. Now we learned it got older. It says kichsha kagayas kina. What does that mean? Loihada, the holy hada bari. Just like getting old is no going back to becoming young, so to the weakness over here is speaking about a chronic weakness that is not going to go ahead and so it doesn't mean lav dafka getting old. It can mean weakened, but the weakening is similar to getting old. That is loihadra. You're not going to get healthy again. Amalei makashisha braid Rav Chisda the Ravashi hachi kama mishmei Rav Yochanan. I feel a gun of klev nasa ayel egel nasa shar nasa shina biyadai v'kana tavachamacha shlohu tabeach shlohu meicher. Right. So what do you see? So what's the kasha? What's the kasha? So in this case, I guess the shinoi is not nikah. We're asking the kasha. You told me that what? That a shinoi that is not recognizable is not considered a shinoi, right? So you're telling me that what? That in the name, you told me in the name of Rabbi Yochanan, you told me in the name of Rabbi Yochanan, an animal that got older is considered a shinoi in your kaina. Rabbi Yochanan said, even if you go ahead and steal, if it got older, a little one got older, and whether it's a sheep or right in both cases, and nasa shina biyada v'kana, then tavach hamacha shalohu taveach shalohu moicher. So l'chayra, you're asking a kasha on on Rabbi Yochanan to Rabbi Yochanan. Rabbi Yochanan said that what that. Wait, I'm looking for Rabbi Yochanan. I'm Rabbi Papa. Excuse me, Mamash Eli Afil Kishem. Why not Sakinatan? Sakina. Like how that be. I'm a I don't find where Rabbi Yochanan said that an animal that you steal, an old animal. What? Gemara. What? Yeah, no, that I know that's Rabbi Yochanan, but you're asking a kasha on Rabbi Yochanan. I thought. Okay, but here's the kasha, guys. The kasha is that you're telling me that if it's it gets older that what it's considered shinoi. Doesn't mean that it's considered shinoi, but we said in the name of Rabbi Yochanan, even if you steal a tle or an ayil or an egel and it becomes a shor, it's a shina b'yad v'kana. So I'm not exactly sure what the kasher is. I'm not sure if there's any kasha. Like Rabbeinu Peres, there seems to be a kasha that should not be a shini because it's not nikah so much. But the teretz of the Gemara doesn't seem to flow. Could be just a statement. And the bottom line is they're trying to prove that you quoted in the name of Rabbi Yochanan and you're misquoting. So Amalei, Rav Ashi said, Lava minalacha, did I tell you, like Tachlif and Gavrei, don't switch names, that you said that his name Rabbi Yochanan, it wasn't Halu. This halacha mishmei the Rabbi Eloi Itmar. It was named Rabbi Eloi and not the name of Rabbi Yochanan.